Good morning, I'm Kat. Let's go ahead and jump into today's tarot. The opening card that we have for today is the Three of Wands. Somebody's feeling a little reluctant in moving forward towards something that they feel really called to move toward. So what happens when we feel called to move towards something, right? The mind likes to jump in and say, what about this? And what about this? And this thing over here and this thing over there. And this could happen and be totally horrible and could just upset everything, right? The mind takes things and runs away with them. And in that way, it can be kind of paralyzing because we become reluctant to move towards something that we feel really called to move toward because of all this limitation that the mind puts in front of us. You can see that the figure in this card is standing in front of a waterway, and they have one wand in their hand and two wands behind them. And so if you look closely, the wand that's behind them actually does have some growth surrounding it. And this is to remind us that there will be support that shows up when we need it. If you feel called, if you feel a little tug in your heart to move towards something and to make strides towards something, trust and have faith that the things that need to step in will step in when it's the right time, and that there are energies to support you in moving toward that. That is the message behind this card, is that, continue to move forward because help will show up when it is needed. The challenge that we have for today, dun, 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 is the Devil. This is a pretty dark card. It freaks a lot of people out when I give them readings. It's ruled by Capricorn. So the challenge today is that we don't see that our biggest limitation is ourself. We like to look at the world and say it's this thing's fault, or it's this situation's fault, or this isn't working out because of this, that, and the other thing. But often the way that we look at things is the greatest limitation that we have in moving forward and toward things. Let me just paint a picture for you. If you're getting set to go towards some task or even if it's a vacation, right? You have a plan for the day, you have things that you want to get accomplished, and there are some things that you really, really want to do, but the mind steps in and says, I don't think we can do that because of X, Y, Z, ABC, all the numbers of things, right? And so in that way, our mind and the way that we look at things can actually be our greatest limitation. And so consider that out there in the world, there is infinite possibility. There's more possibility than what we've even actualized and realized. And so when we can acknowledge that and put our faith in that possibility, it gives us so much more potential than the limitation that we paint the world with. So be careful of that limitation that you paint in your own life experience. Consider that this card is also ruled by Capricorn, which is our life path, our career, our reputation in front of others. And what's so interesting about this right now, I can't make this stuff up, Pluto is in Capricorn right now, and it is creating a lot of transformation in this area of our life. And so we are doing some really great work in this period of our life right now because of the placement of Pluto in Capricorn. It's creating change, like big life changes, and it's been doing that for everybody. Depending on where Capricorn is sitting in your chart, that's where you will be feeling this the most strongly. Now, the way that we're going to get through the challenge, also, I cannot make this up, is the Moon card. This is another major arcana. How do you act in the 11th hour? Do you still show up for yourself, or do you give up, right? So this is a card that's all about how you walk through difficult circumstances and how you show up in that time. Do you still listen to your own guidance? Do you still listen to your own intuitive sense and allow it to guide you through different gateways? And consider that this is related to the moon, also related to Pisces. But when we have our next full moon, we will have a full moon in Capricorn because the sun is in Cancer right now. And so we're going to be looking at, this combination of the moon and Pluto together, which will bring, that transformational energy to our own emotional sense and our own emotional connection to ourselves and how we interact with people emotionally. So there will be some big transformation in that area. And if you are experienced in going outside during different moon phases, you may have acknowledged that during a new moon, you go outside and it's dark. You can't see anything, right? At least if you're in the mountains. If you're in the city, there's lots of lights and it's a whole different experience because of light pollution. But in the mountains or anywhere where there's not a lot of, man-made light, in a new moon, it's dark, right? Because the sun and the moon are conjunct. They're really close next to each other, so we can't see the reflection of the sun on the moon's surface. But in a full moon, this moon has moved all the way to the other side of our system, and so we get to see the full reflection of the sun's light on the moon. And during that time, you can go outside and see so much more in your surroundings because it's lit up by the moon. And what's so interesting about that is that during full moons and new moons, we also see the biggest surge and biggest drops of the tides. And so things that are under the surface, quite literally in the ocean or along the coast, become revealed and get lifted up to the surface. So during full moons, we can get a lot of insight around different areas in our lives. And so we are in this little incubation period right now between the time that we're in right now and the full moon, which is in about a week and a half, where we are looking at and getting a sense internally and the direction that we feel called to go and where we need to put some nurturing and some self-care so that we feel we can actually move toward that direction. So good work here. Consider that, if you are familiar with the movie A Never-Ending Story, where the boy walks through the two sphinx, this card reminds me a lot of that movie where, like if you can only get through those two sphinx if you are pure of heart. And if you aren't pure of heart, they're going to totally obliterate you with their eyeballs, right? So that's kind of how we're moving through this gateway in life, so to speak, in our own evolution. It's like, are you moving forward with your heart or are you moving forward with your mind? What is calling you to act? Does it come from here, up in the head, or does it come from here, down in the heart? We're working on that stuff right now. It's some serious work. And it's going to make a huge shift in our lives if we can just put some effort in that area. Their overall energy for today is the Knight of Wands. So it's time to act. It's time to act now. When you feel in your heart the need to do something and you actually feel your heart open in excitement to do it, it's time to act and move forward, even if it's only in a small step, right? Just make some small effort today and you'll be starting that domino effect because you are telling the universe, yes, I believe in this too. And I'm going to give it to the universe and know that whatever I need to make this happen will present itself. And I put trust and faith in that so that I can move forward. Sending you so much love today and a great big hug wherever you are. We're starting to get some rain in Paonia, which I'm really happy for because we've been going through a drought. And I am thankful. I'm making rain dancer orbs, and I'm hoping that helps energetically in creating some rain in this space. So if you're interested in an orb or a personal reading, reach out to me either personally if you have my phone number, or through direct messaging, or through my email, rootsofalchemy@gmail.com. If you'd like to see my orbs, you can check them out on my website, rootsofalchemy.com. And with that said, I again send you so much love. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.